Attention passionate Green Bay Packers fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC North and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Green Bay Packers' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Green Bay Packers fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your friends and Green Bay Packers fans. Let's get to the news. Now folks, this is one of those stories that could shake things up in the NFC North and beyond. The Green Bay Packers, as many of you know, have been quietly building something special this season. With Jordan Love leading the offense and the team sitting at a promising 2-0 start, the vibe around Lambeau Field is cautiously optimistic. But as we all know, the NFL is unpredictable. And in the middle of this week, a fascinating rumor has surfaced that might just change the landscape entirely. According to reports from ESPN's Adam Schefter and Packer Reports' Easton Butler, the Cincinnati Bengals have been making calls around the league, trying to find a new backup quarterback after losing Joe Burrow to a toe injury that's expected to sideline him for the next 3 months. And here's the kicker. One of the names that's come up in these conversations is Malik Willis, the backup quarterback for the Green Bay Packers. Now, this isn't just some idle chat. The Bengals are actively looking for help at the quarterback position, and Willis, who's still relatively new to the Packers system, has caught their attention. But what does that mean for the Packers? And more importantly, what does it mean for Malik Willis? Well, let's break it down. Willis has been with the Packers for just about 13 months now, and in that time, he's done enough to earn the trust of the coaching staff. You see, when the Packers traded for him, giving up a 7th-round pick from the 2025 draft, it was clear they saw potential. And Willis responded in kind. Last season, when Jordan Love was sidelined early due to injury, Willis stepped in during 2 games and proved his worth. He completed an impressive 75.8% of his passes for 324 yards and threw 2 touchdowns. Those are solid numbers, especially considering he was thrown into the fire on short notice. He led the Packers to 2 victories, showcasing not just his arm strength, but also his composure in high-pressure moments. That kind of performance is exactly what a team needs from a backup quarterback, especially one that's still developing but clearly has the tools. The coaching staff, led by head coach Matt LaFleur, has shown confidence in Willis. They see him as a valuable part of their roster, a true safety net behind Jordan Love. And with the Packers starting the season 2-0, it's clear that Love is the guy leading the charge, but having Willis as a reliable second option provides peace of mind. It's a luxury many teams would envy to have a backup who's been in the trenches and proved he can step up when needed. Now, here's where things get really interesting. The Bengals, after losing Burrow, are desperate to find a quarterback who can step in and stabilize their offense. According to reports, they're calling around, even reaching out to teams like the Packers to see if Malik Willis might be available. But let's be honest, this isn't just about some casual inquiry. The Bengals are likely to make a serious offer if they think they can get Willis. And in NFL terms, that usually means they'll have to come with a reasonable trade package. Most likely, a day 2 draft pick, such as a 2nd-rounder, could be enough to get the Packers to consider parting ways. But of course, the Packers are in a strong position here. Willis is not just any backup, he's a player they've invested in and trust. They might hold out for more than just a 2nd-round pick, especially given how valuable he's proven to be as a safety valve behind Love. The question is, would the Bengals be willing to pay that price? Right now, it's just speculation, and there's no concrete indication that negotiations are underway. A simple phone call doesn't mean a deal is imminent, but the fact that this conversation is happening at all indicates that Willis's trade value is high, and the Packers could have a tough decision on their hands. If the Bengals come out with a hefty offer, say, a 2nd-round pick, they might just tip the scales. Remember, the Bengals are in a win-now mode, and losing Burrow is a huge blow. They're likely to overpay to avoid the mess of trying to find a suitable replacement on the fly. For the Packers, though, this could turn into a golden opportunity to recoup some draft capital. And here's where it gets even more interesting. If Willis leaves, the Packers have a ready-made replacement close at hand. That's Clayton Tune, a 5th-round pick from 2023, who's been on their practice squad. Despite being a relatively new addition, Toon has been impressing the coaching staff enough that he might be considered ready to step up if Willis departs. Toon was signed as the de facto third quarterback after training camp, and while he's not a household name yet, his performances in practice and the preseason have given the Packers some confidence. The team had options. Sean Clifford and Taylor Elgersma also vied for that third spot, but Toon seems to have earned the nod, at least internally. If the Packers decide that Willis's value to other teams is too high and they can get a significant return, it's conceivable they'd move him and promote Toon to a more prominent role. This situation also highlights the strategic thinking within the Packers front office. They've been methodical in their roster building, especially at the quarterback position. Jordan Love's development has been promising, and the team's offense looks dynamic under LaFleur's system. But they also understand the importance of having depth and experience behind their starter. Willis has shown that he can be dependable, and his familiarity with the system makes him even more valuable. Trading him would not be a decision taken lightly, especially given the recent history of teams losing key backups in crucial moments and feeling the pain. It's worth noting that the Packers didn't suddenly change their quarterback plans before the season. Moving Willis to the active roster before Week 1 was a strategic decision, signaling that they valued his readiness and potential. But if a trade makes sense financially and strategically, they might be willing to part ways, especially if Toon continues to impress, and they believe they can maintain their competitive edge without Willis on the roster. Now, what does this mean for the Packers and their fans? Well, it's a classic NFL chess move, balancing the short-term needs of the team with the long-term goal of building a championship contender. If the Packers get a good enough offer, they might be tempted to let Willis go, especially if they're confident in Toon's potential. And if they do, it could open up a roster spot and give them more flexibility moving forward. But let's not forget, this is all speculative for now. It's just a matter of how much the Bengals are willing to pay, and whether the Packers see the value in trading Willis at this moment. The NFL is a league of high-stakes decisions, and sometimes teams make moves that surprise everyone. The Packers have shown in the past that they're not afraid to shake things up if it benefits their future. And remember, the league is full of surprises, and this story might just be the beginning of a much bigger shakeup in the NFC North. The Bears, Lions, and Vikings are all watching closely, knowing that a trade like this could shift the balance of power. But for now, Packers fans, stay tuned. This story is developing and will keep you updated every step of the way. Pause here just for a second. If you want the YOUTUBE algorithm to keep recommending the latest Green Bay Packers news to you, it's super important that you leave a like on this video. Go ahead, it's quick and it makes a big difference. Thank you. Now let us continue with the big reveal. Looking ahead, the Packers are in a unique position. They've got a young, talented quarterback in Jordan Love, who's shown flashes of greatness and is still evolving. Behind him, Willis has been a dependable backup, and the team's trust in him is evident. But if an offer from Cincinnati or another team comes in that's too good to pass up, don't be surprised if Green Bay considers parting ways. They've demonstrated that they're willing to make bold moves if it helps their overall team-building strategy. And don't forget about Clayton Tune. Even though he's a lesser-known name, he's quietly been earning his stripes in Green Bay. If Willis moves on, Tune could be the guy to step into that backup role and perhaps even push for more playing time down the line. The Packers coaching staff has been high on his potential, and with more opportunities, he might prove to be a valuable asset in the coming years. Now, from the perspective of fans, this whole situation is a roller coaster. On one hand, losing a backup quarterback like Willis could be seen as a risk, especially if injuries or unexpected circumstances arise. But on the other hand, acquiring a solid draft pick in return could strengthen the roster in other areas, giving the team more flexibility and options in future drafts. This kind of roster management is what separates good teams from great ones. The Packers have always been known for their smart decision-making, and this situation is no different. They're weighing the value of Willis, considering their future prospects, and assessing how to maximize their assets. It's a delicate balancing act, but one that could pay off big time if executed correctly. And of course, the media and fans alike are eagerly watching to see if this rumor turns into a full-blown trade. If it does, it might just be the move that propels the Packers even further in their quest for another Super Bowl appearance. Or it could serve as a lesson in patience and strategic planning. Sometimes, keeping a talented player like Willis around for the season might be more beneficial than a quick trade. But the NFL is all about the now, and the best teams adapt quickly. So Packers fans, the future is uncertain but full of potential. The team's management has shown that they're not afraid to make bold decisions, and this situation with Willis could be yet another example of their willingness to do what's necessary to keep the team competitive. Whether Willis stays or goes, one thing is for sure, the story isn't over yet. We'll be watching closely, bringing you all the updates and breaking down every move as it unfolds. And now, Green Bay Packers fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Green Bay Packers. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest Green Bay Packers news.